Welcome to Tech Art Simplified. My name's Burk, and in this video series, we're going to explore advanced UV manipulation by making this waterfall in Unreal Engine. Now, there are two ways to manipulate UVs. The first is manually, and the second is with math and shaders. In this video, we're going to be focusing on the manual UV manipulation and its uses for tech artists. Normal artists look at UVs and want to get it over with as fast as possible. Just give me even textile density, and let's move on. But technical artists see it as another variable we can manipulate in order to achieve our artistic vision. Manual UV manipulation doesn't just give us better textile density. It allows us to control the flow of a texture on a mesh, even a radial one. And it gives us better control over the opacity masks at the edge of our meshes. It can allow us to warp a texture, giving us a time dilation on scrolling textures. And it serves as a foundation for VFX like slashes and trails. Now let's start manipulating some UVs. The easiest way to get these UVs is just start with an unwrapped plane, subdivide it, stretch it, and move the vertices around however you see fit. And this is how you would build a trail or a slash. But with more complex meshes, there's going to be a few more steps. And this can be done in Maya, but I use Blender, so that's the tool that I'll use to explain it. If you're building the waterfall with me, these will be the final meshes, but sometimes I feel like it can be tedious getting a long, slow explanation on how to build meshes. So instead, I'm going to show the shortcuts on the screen so that you can follow along that way, and I'd love to know if this works for you. After we finish making these meshes and doing a simple UV unwrap, then I'm going to explain how to use the quad follow tool in Blender to control our UVs. Now, let's talk about the quad follow tool in Blender. It's going to follow the exact shape of that quad. So if there's any angle at all, it will continue that angle for all of the quads, which can produce interesting results, but for us, we want it to be perfectly square. So in order to achieve that, we're going to select the right edge and scale it on X to 0. We're going to do the same thing for the left edge, and for the top and bottom, we'll scale it to 0 on the Y axis. Then we'll select all of them and make sure that our perfectly square quad is our active quad, and then we can say follow active quads. And now all we have to do is resize it so that it fits in the UV grid, and now our mesh is perfectly unwrapped for our control in Unreal. The steps are going to be exactly the same for the mesh that's going to serve as the foam at the base of our waterfall, but here I've selected a face so that I can see which direction is up and I can make it match the body of our waterfall. This isn't entirely necessary because you can change the way that things scroll in Unreal, but I like to keep things clean, so this is just what I'm going to do. With a circle, it's similar, but it gets a little bit tricky. When you first extruded and scaled to 0, I hope you didn't merge those vertices because we're going to need them all to be quads. If you did, just do that step again and then come back here. So with our set of quads, we're going to unwrap them and then follow the same steps that we used for our other two meshes. If you'd like to get rid of that clump of vertices in the center of your circle, you can do it once you've done the quad unwrap and rescaled everything. All you have to do is select those vertices, merge by distance, then you can take the tips of the triangles, shift them over so that they're aligned with the quads, and your mesh is finished. The last thing I'd like to show you is how to warp your UVs on the circular mesh. There's two ways we can accomplish this. The first is selecting an edge loop and then expanding it or contracting it using our proportional editing tool. The second is just selecting one of the edges in our UV editor and sliding it up or down on the x-axis. You can also do the same thing for the y-axis if you want. There you have it. That's how you manually manipulate UVs. This is a really easy way to get cool effects quickly. The only drawback is that these effects are baked in, So if you want something more dynamic, you're going to have to use math to achieve that effect. And that's something that we're going to explore later on in the series. If you found this video helpful and you'd like to help me make more videos like this, you can download the project files on Gumroad for just $5. And that project file will always be up to date with the newest video, so you'll always have access to the newest stuff. And if you'd like to join a community of artists who are learning and growing together, check out my Discord. The link will be in the description. That's all I've got for today. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, work hard and play harder.